How's it going, guys? Today we're going to be taking a look at all the stuff that is coming next season for Season of the Deep. This is all in their TWAB today that they posted. The TWAB, if you don't know, is the Thursday blog post that they post every week, just about every week, that gives us information about changes they're making to the game and changes that are going to be coming next season, or just changes in general. It's a really nice article if you're interested in the news that goes on with the game. I highly recommend reading it. I'll leave a link to it and all the ones that are mentioned in the description if you want to go check those out yourself. So like, comment, and subscribe if you find this informative and you like the style of content, as that I'm branching out from my normal. So a quick word from our sponsor. We're going to get right into this. The first thing that we're going to look at are economy updates. Economy might sound boring at first, but when you start noticing how many things in the game depend on it, well, you start paying more attention to how it facilitates. At the start of Season 21, we will have several updates to Destiny 2 economy. You can read it in detail about them on the May 4th TWAB, but here's a recap of the major changes. Rahul exotic engram focusing. You can decrypt or focus exotic engrams with Tier 1 or Tier 2 options. Weapon deep sight activation. There is a new currency called a deep sight harmonizer, and changes to crafting costs. Legendary shards are no longer required. Now, the Rahul engram focusing, you can either decrypt your exotic engrams into a general exotic pool with expansions, and that's going to cost you 1 engram, 30,000 glimmer, and ascendant shard. If you decide to go with the Tier 2 focusing, which is a much more focused focusing, like you can actually pick the exotic you want, to my understanding, that's going to cost you 60,000 glimmer, 3 ascendant shards, the exotic engram, and it's going to cost you an exotic cipher. So it's going to be pretty expensive, but the stat packages for these are going to be at the mid 60s, so that's also nice. The deep sight harmonizer, we're only going to be able to get through the season pass rewards, which I think is lame, but this is going to allow you to take those deep sight weapons that have crafting patterns and put a deep sight on them if they didn't already previously have them. So if you bought an Icolos SMG from Banshee, you can then use this deep sight harmonizer and then make it a deep sight weapon, obtain the pattern progress, and be able to craft it once you get 5 of them. Again, you can only get these through the season pass, so that is kind of lame. Hopefully they add these to other activities in the game. Next, we're going to take a look at the weapon sandbox tuning. During Season 20, we introduced a lot of changes to weapons, as well as special reticles that better represent the perks and different firing patterns of some of them that have. We are doubling down on that for Season 21 with more informative and more visible reticles at a high field of view for fusion rifles, hand cannons, sidearms, and trace rifles, as well as special ones for several exotics like Devil's Ruins Charge Shot or Lumina's Noble Rounds. There are also some exotic weapon buffs. Wordline 0 is back, reworks, Salvation Grips, and some nerfs. Thunderlord was cheating a bit, and some damage fixes. Winterbite was scolded. And of course, there's also adjustments to some legendary archetypes and perk. You can read all about it in the weapon preview article that went live yesterday. I'm going to post that down in the description, but yeah, they made it so Worldline is again supposed to be the fastest sword in the game, or it's going to be able to compete with our Eager Edge legendaries. You can now do the Whirlwind Heavy back to back, which is going to be really nice. Salvation's Grip now has a charged mode and a regular mode. Thunderlord was double critting for Divinity Bubbles. That's not going to happen anymore. And Winterbite shouldn't be able to do the impact damage explosions that was just melting all the bosses in the game. There's also a bunch of other really cool things in here, like you can now see how many noble rounds your Lumina has available, and they increase it from 5 to 6. Devil's Ruin Reticle is now going to have a little charge bar, also going to be really cool. And they made a bunch of buffs, like for example, Sweet Business is now going to fire an explosive shot every 20 rounds. It's going to be really cool. Abilities tuning. For abilities, the best you can do is go and read the preview article we published on May 3rd. Lots of buffs for supers on PvE, more fragment slots for several aspects, improved melees for Strand, as well as lower cooldowns for grapples, a few buffs to stasis, and a long, very long, etc. This is very true. They made a ton of changes to abilities, all the way from all of our roaming supers going to do more damage, to simply now Hunter Smokes are going to apply a longer debuff. There's so many changes in there, and it's actually one of the reasons I'm really excited to make builds for next season alongside their exotic armor tuning. Same story with abilities. We have an in-depth article about the changes coming to more than 20 exotic armor pieces. There are some big buffs in there, as well as complete reworks and a few nerfs to bring in some outliers. Big buffs here are things to like Vesper of Radius, where it's going to now trigger a shockwave every 5 seconds, I believe it's going to be. They did a complete rework to no backup plans, and they nerfed Dune Marchers, and they absolutely killed Starfire Protocol. Another reason I'm really excited for builds next season is a lot of these exotics are not so great, and now they could be pretty good with these exotic changes. Quality of life improvements. We're also introducing several quality of life updates in Season 21. Here's a list of them with further details available in the May 4th TWAB. New Vanguard bounties, they're simplifying them, making it a lot easier to do with a fire team. Finest Matter Weaves and Rainmakers can now be consumed to earn the associated material. It's going to be a enhancement core for Finer Matter Weaves and 3000 Glimmer for Rainmakers. Good Boy Protocol coming back to the tower. The Robo Dog from Season of the Seraph is going to be in the tower. And certain triumphs now boost the raid exotic drop rate in Last Wish, Deepstone Crypt, Vow the Disciple, Vault of Glass, and King's Fall, and they are retroactive. So if you don't do raids very often, there is a list of triumph for the titles or other things. Now these are going to affect the exotic drop rate for the exotics of these particular raids, as some people really struggle with getting the exotics from these raids. And if you've done them in the past, well, they're retroactive and that will count towards your exotic drop rate. PvP players rejoice, because we also have some Crucible updates coming. In addition to the classic Meltdown PvP map into rotation, we're making several changes and updates to how Trials of Osiris will work in Season 21. Our intention is to make a more rewarding game mode without taking away the challenge. First thing that they're changing is the Flawless pool is being replaced by the new Practice and Challenger pools. These are apparently part of the labs they put into place this past season, and they worked good enough for them to put it into the actual game. New Trials quest for new players. This is going to ease them into it. Some Trials passages have been adjusted to provide a better experience. I believe Wealth is giving you more rep, and Mercy is giving you an extra loss when you haven't gone flawless. Elimination is out. Dominion will be the new core game mode for Trials. I'm pretty sure this is just the capture point we've been playing for the past almost year, I think, at this point. That's going to be the main game mode, and Gilding the Flawless Shield has new requirements. This is going to make it feel more like it is a Trials-based card or Trials-based seal over just a Crucible seal. There's plenty of information about it in the May 4th TWAB in case you want more. Again, I will leave that down in the description as well. 3 new outstanding aspects. Just 2 weeks ago, we teased new aspects coming to Strand in Season 21 as part of a new quest in which Lightfall owners will learn more about the Veil on Neomuna and earn a new legendary hand cannon. We felt like you wanted to see a bit more, even though you will be able to test them yourself in a few days. We recorded some short videos so you know what to expect and start thinking of new builds. Enjoy. I'm not going to show the videos here. Again, if you want to go check this out, go check the link in the description to the TWAB. The Hunter Threaded Spectre. Activate your class ability and leave behind a decoy woven from strand matter that draws the attention of nearby combatants. After taking significant damage or when combatants approach, the decoy detonates, dealing damage and releasing threadlings that seek out and attack nearby foes. For Titans, we have Flechette Storm. While sliding, activate your charged melee ability to leap into the air, knocking nearby targets away and dealing damage. While airborne, activate your charged melee again to launch a cluster of damaging, unraveling projectiles. Repeatedly activating melee will chain additional throws. And for Warlock, we have the Wanderer. Tangles you throw will attach and detonate into a suspending burst. Threadling final blows now create a tangle. These are all going to be really cool, and I'm really excited for the Titan one because you just launch missiles of severing strand. It's going to be really cool. The refundable artifact is almost here. Are you ready to wield your new NPA repulsor regulator? That's your new seasonal artifact. Treat it well or Drifter might use you as bait. Remember that the seasonal artifact has changed a bit recently. With Lightfall, mods from the artifact can be changed into perks that are always on when unlocked, and you don't have to slot them into your armor pieces. Starting with Season of the Deep, another change is coming. You will have the option to refund perks from the artifact individually one by one, so adapting to each activity and crafting the most focused build will be a bit faster and easier than before. But in order to make the most amazing builds, you need to know the perks, and that's an easy fix. For our first column, we're going to have Anti-Barrier Auto Rifle, Unstoppable Hand Cannon, Overload Scout Rifle, Overload Trace Rifle, and Unstoppable Glaive. That's pretty cool. That's the first time that in our first column we've had 2 special weapons. Column 2, we're going to have our authorized mods for Arc, Void, Strand, and Melee. These are going to work like the ones we had this season, I'm going to assume. And for Technicolor Siphon, grants access to helmet armor mods that combine the effects of the Strand Siphon and Arc Siphon mods. So we're going to have a pretty arc-based season this coming season, and that's pretty cool actually. I have a lot of arc builds in mind that I want to do since reading the ability updates. In column 3, we have Improved Unraveling. Increases the amount of damage dealt by unraveling a target. Deeper Origin greatly improves the benefit provided by the Unsated Hunger, Nanotech Tracer Rocket, Harmonic Resonance and Noble Deeds trait. Unto the Breach, defeating a Void debuff target creates a Void Breach while your Void subclass equipped. Electric Armor, stay amplified longer while your Arc subclass is equipped. Thunderous Retort, grants bonus Arc super damage if cast while critically wounded or amplified, lasts until the end of super activation. Column 4, Strand Soldier. Your Strand weapons gain unraveling rounds whenever you gain Woven Mail while your Strand subclass equipped. Overcharged Armory, weapons with the Unsated Hunger, Nanotech Tracer Rocket, Harmonic Resonance, and Noble D traits are always overcharged weapons for you when that modifier is active. Protective Breach, picking up a Void Breach gives you an Overshield or refreshes your existing Overshield. Countercharge, gain a stack of armor charged when you stun a champion, and amped up, gain damage resistance while amplified. And finally, for column 5, we have Conductive Cosmic Needle. Targets affected by Strand debuffs take increased damage from Arc and Void abilities. Shock and Awe, Arc Final Blows while you're amplified, summon a burst of lightning that damages and jolts targets. Supernova, picking up a Void Breach causes your next source of void damage to create a large weak pulse. Squad Goals, performing a finisher while you're amplified grants amplified to nearby allies when your Arc subclass equipped. Performing a finisher when you have Woven Mail grants Woven Mail to nearby allies when you have your Strand subclass equipped. And performing a finisher while you have Devour grants Devour to nearby allies when your Void subclass equipped. And Lightning strikes twice. After throwing an Arc Grenade, gain increased grenade recharge for a short time. Arc Final Blows extend the duration of this benefit. It seems like our artifact this season is going to be really strong. Again, focusing on Strand, Arc, and Void, which is again going to be really nice. I like Void, I like Arc, I like Strand. All of these artifact mods are going to make it build crafting really nice. I already have a bunch of ideas in my head that I can't wait to test out in game. A few other things that are coming are we're going to get an update to Elemental Shields, a change in their visual effects, and they're going to do a bunch of new stabilizing things so that the servers are a lot more stable, going back to extended maintenance on Tuesdays instead of trying to pre-do it on Thursday for the Tuesday update. It's all going to happen on Tuesday now, so be prepared for that. Other than that, that is the end of everything that is coming next season, which is what this video is about. If you want to read all of the stuff coming in the full seasonal stuff, obviously I will leave links to all these TWABs in the description. Something they didn't mention are weapons that are leaving. I'm going to put stuff on the screen right now because I'm not reading directly what it is, but I'm pretty sure it's Mindbender's Ambition, Malicious Birthright. Either way, Future Me is going to put something on the screen for you guys to read. Thank you, Future Me. And then, of course, there's going to be weapons coming in. Again, Future Me put that up people to see. Thank you very much. And that is it for actually everything that is coming and going for next season. I almost completely forgot about the weapons, but that is that. If you liked the video, please like, comment, and subscribe, as this is a little bit out of my comfort zone. As you can tell, my speech is not always the best. I talk really fast, get ahead of myself. We'll work on that if this is something people want to see more of. So I'll see you guys in the next video.